accent. Ah!
Phil. Great start.
There is a plot device used in some mystery fiction known as the Unreliable Narrator. In these cases, it transpires the person telling the tale may themselves be more involved than you were led to believe, and they may not have been telling you the whole story. Here at Highly Suspect HQ, we've taken this tried and tested concept of the Unreliable Narrator and made a stupid game out of it. Our murderer-in-chief will record himself telling a short murder mystery tale, which, like all of our mysteries, is 100% solvable with the information provided. This will be sent to one of our elite team of regular suspects, who is only allowed to watch it once. They will then record themselves trying to recount the same story to the best of their memory, before sending their version to another highly suspect individual, who will do the same. This chain will continue until everyone in the team has retold the tale, at which point we'll watch it back together and see if anyone has been able to solve the mystery told by a string of unreliable narrators. And even if they haven't, the result should be, well, highly suspect. Hello, Phil Macabre, dentist and part-time amateur detective here, to share with you a tale of tooth-based transgression that I like to call the case of the deadly dentist dispatcher. Now, Ian Sizer was a dentist of some renown who had his own little practice called The Filling Station, alongside his wife, dental hygienist Ginger Vitus, and their receptionist, Decaying Molar. Ian was a perfectionist and insisted on brushing his own teeth before seeing every single patient to make sure they all received his winning smile. Because of this, the tiny practice was thriving and constantly busy, despite disturbing rumours that someone was selling the patient's extracted teeth to tooth fairy fetishists on the dark web. However, this was not the most bizarre occurrence to strike at the filling station, as at approximately 2:30 on the 27th of August 1976, Ian was inexplicably murdered mid-dentistry. It started when Dan Tuldam, a dentist from a rival practice and manicure salon, Tooth and Nail, came in for his appointment for a filling. Despite the profession, he was a nervous patient and required both head and jaw restraint to prevent him from involuntarily biting down on fingers, in addition to a small dose of nitrous in order to keep him calm. After nearly 20 minutes in the treatment room, the screaming started. Now, this is something common enough to dentist rooms, so initially it was just uncomfortably ignored, but when it continued uninterrupted, Ginger and Dee decided it was best to investigate. They burst through the door to find Dan still restrained, screaming in the chair, and Ian lying on the floor behind him. Ginger rushed to check on Dan, while Dee dashed to Ian to attempt CPR. However, after the first breath, she pulled back in shock. His mouth had been stuffed with other people's extracted teeth. The pathology report revealed Ian had been stabbed through the heart with a dental pick, while the teeth were discarded extractions from other patients from the practice. Now, the primary suspect was Dan Tuldam, as he was the only other individual in the room at the time. Dan had been attempting to buy out the filling station for years, and Ian had always refused him. However, it was unknown how he would have been able to release himself from the restraints. When questioned, he said he had no idea what had happened to Ian, as he was off his head on nitrous and was unable to turn around to see what was happening. Ian's wife, Ginger Vitus, was considered a suspect, as it was widely known he had numerous affairs with patients. However, she'd always stated she'd not divorce Ian until the practice had been sold. Dee argued that she had no motive at all, but Ginger revealed Ian had intended to fire Dee, but had never given an explanation why. So, you know the drill. Solve it, and you may even get a little plaque.
Hello, I'm Phil Macabre, and I'm Scottish, don't you know? And I'm a dentist extraordinaire, but I'm here to tell you today about the case of the deadly dental destroyer. Which was a terrible killing which inflicted our practice. This is going to steam up already. There once was a dentist called Ian Sizer, and he had a practice called The Filling Station with his wife, Ginger Vitus, and their receptionist, Decaying Molar. And Ian was very Ian was known for giving a brilliant, personalised service with his practice. Everyone loved the filling station because he personally looked after everyone's teeth and gave them a winning smile. Oh, thank the Lord. Glasses were steaming up. But there was one day a terrible incident. Where on the 22nd of August at 2:30. So sorry, Scottish people. 1967, Ian was found dead on the floor of his practice. What had happened was this. Den Tuldam, one of his patients, had come in for a spot of teeth work. Now, Den was a very scared patient, and he had to be restrained with wrist shackles and a head brace to stop him from writhing about and eating his own tongue during the procedure, and also copious amount of nitrous oxide to knock him out. And 20 minutes after he went in, there was much screaming heard, as it was usual, from the practice room. Or was it usual? There was screaming, and a certain amount of time after that, Dee and Ginger decided to go check on them because they hadn't heard anything in a while. And they went in, and what they found was Den still in the dental chair. This is a dental spoon. I don't know. Still restrained, but behind him was Ian, dead on the floor, and stuffed in his mouth was the set of teeth from other patients. Removed teeth. This is relevant because what I failed to mention earlier is that the filling station had a small rumour going around that patients' teeth were being sold on the dark web to teeth fetishists called by the Tooth Fairy, but no one knew who that was. So anyway, these teeth were now found inside, or people's teeth were found down Ian's throat, and he was dead from it. The police suspected Des, but he said, I was off my head on nitrous oxide, and I couldn't turn my head, so I don't know who did it. And then accent. And then Ginger was suspected because she was his wife and the dental nurse. But she'd often said Ginger was suspected because it was thought that Ian was having an affair, but she'd often said she wouldn't divorce him until the practice was sold, and Den had been interested in buying the practice to add to his portfolio of dentistries. I think he had, but Ian refused to sell it, and then Dee was suspected. Well, she said she wasn't suspected, but then Ginger said she was suspected because Ian said he was going to fire her, but he didn't see why. Oh, dearie me. So there you go. This is a filling case. So can you work out, me boys and girls, who done it? And if you do, you might get a plaque. What has my life become?
Hello! Oh my word, it's far too hot to be dressed like this. For God's sake. Okay. Get that up over my nose. That's not very health and safety. Here we go. Hello! My name is... I'll try that again in the right accent. Hello! My name is Phil Macabre, dentist extraordinaire, and just in case I do wander off at any point into, Russia, as I am wont to do, I am supposed to be Scottish, just to let you know. And I'm here to tell you all about the case of the deadly dental destroyer. Ooh, very, very serious matter. And it concerns our man, Ian Sizer. Now, Ian Sizer owned a dental practice called The Filling Station. It was called The Filling Station, and he worked there as the dentist with his wife, Ginger Vitus, who I believe was also his dental nurse. I think she worked there as his nurse. And they also had a receptionist called Decaying Molar. Now, all of Ian's patients loved coming to the filling station because he was always super friendly. He provided a very, very personal service, was always there to, calm nerves and provide everyone with a comforting, friendly smile. I'm going to take that off because that's what the person before me did. We're going to get rid of that. Okay, here we go. However, as much as people enjoyed going to the filling station, and as much as you can enjoy going to the dentist, there was also quite a sinister rumour. Where am I from? Quite a sinister rumour floating about that somebody was selling the patient's teeth on the dark web, that somebody was removing the patient's teeth and selling them on the dark web under the guise of the Tooth Fairy. See, I've got my pliers because I mean business. Under the guise of the Tooth Fairy, and selling them to tooth fetishists. Now, I didn't know they were a thing, but it takes all sorts, I suppose, to each your own, whatever floats your boat. Now, on the 22nd of August, on a certain year that I can't remember, I want to say it was quite a while ago, like decade, but it's not important. It was 2:30 in the afternoon, and there was a man in for an appointment named Untitled Chapter. And Den was a very nervous patient. He had to be restrained with both, Scotland, both wrist shackles and a head brace, and he also was usually knocked out with nitrous oxide. So he went in for his appointment, and then about 20 minutes after he went in, there was a lot of screaming, which the person before me thought was maybe usual for when he was in for his appointments, but we weren't sure. And then it all went quite quiet, and after a little while, Dee and Ginger decided they were going to go in and check on matters. And Dentist Ian Sizer was dead on the floor of his practice with a load of these other people's teeth shoved down his throat, which we believe is what he died of. But Den said that it couldn't have been him that killed it. He was still shackled to the chair, because he said, he was still tied down and his head was still in the brace, so he hadn't even been able to turn his head to see who had done it. The wife, Ginger Vitus, came under suspicion because it was rumoured that Ian Sizer was actually having an affair. We didn't know who with, but Ginger was adamant that she wouldn't divorce him until the practice had been sold. Now, Dental Dam was actually interested in buying the practice, but Ian refused to sell it for some reason. He didn't want to sell it. And then the receptionist, Dee, I don't know what I'm doing here. The receptionist Dee came under suspicion because Ian had said that he was going to fire her, but he didn't actually say why. And apparently, that was all we needed to be able to solve this case, which I've got to admit is slightly evading me at the moment. Oh god, this is very long again. Why do I do this? Oh, Jesus Christ, sorry Scotland. Best of luck. Jeez, it's far too hot for the... jeez.
Hello, Phil D. Cavity here, Scottish doctor and dentist, no, not a doctor, a dentist extraordinaire, and I'm here to tell you the mysterious tale of the dangerous dental devil. That's as good a title as any, anyway. Right, so, what happened was this. Many, many years ago, on the 22nd of August, yes, in a dental practice known as the Filling Station. Yes, this very dental practice that you're sitting in right this moment. There was a dentist called Ian Sizer, who owned the practice along with his wife and dental hygienist assistant, Ginger Vitus. And there was also a receptionist called Dee. Yes. Anyway, you could always be sure that you would get your service done there with a smile, which is good because that's far too hot. Right. So, although everything seemed perfect in this dental practice, there were certain rumours that things were not altogether happy. Rumours that Ian had been having an affair, which he denied, of course, and various other things, possibly financial as well. I can't remember. But anyway, all these many years ago, there was a patient who came to have his teeth done on the regular, known as dental dam. Now, he was a very nervous dentist goer, as many people were back in those days. And he would need the full shebang when he was having his molars extracted or whatever other work he needed done. He would need the arm cuffs, he would need the head brace, he would need to be knocked out by nitrous oxide, all that sort of thing. And one time he had gone in to see Ian, who was... No, was he seeing Ian? No, Ian wasn't necessarily in the room. Oh, he must have been in the room. Let's say he was going in to see Ian Sizer, and he was waiting. No, that was it. Yes, that was it. Dental Dam had gone in to see Ian Sizer, the dentist. And whilst they were working together doing dental things, all of a sudden outside in the reception, you could hear this tremendous crashing and bashing and shouting inside the room. So when they finally... There's a whole subplot that I've forgotten, but I'll come back onto it. When they finally broke the door down, they found Ian on the floor with dozens of different people's teeth stuffed down into his gullet, which the police say was probably what killed him. Now, that was a subplot I'd forgotten, because there was a rumour that someone at the dental practice had been selling people's teeth on the black market. And so suspicion had naturally fallen on Ian, but no one could prove anything. So it was, when Ginger, the wife, and Dee, the receptionist, went into the room, they found Den still strapped there, and Ian lying on the floor, dead. Deed. There's been a murder. Yes. Dead. Now, obviously foul play was immediately suspected. Teeth down your throat will do that for you. However, Den said that because he had been in his arm cuffs and his neck brace and everything, he wasn't even able to turn his head to see who had done it. Whether or not he had been knocked out by nitrous oxide, I don't know. That might be irrelevant. Anyway, so he claimed he was innocent because he could never have done it. Obviously, the wife and the receptionist had access to the dental practice as well. So it could have been any of them. Now, you may not believe me about this story, but I can assuredly tell you, hand on heart, that it is the tooth, the whole tooth, and nothing but the tooth. So help me God. Good night.
Right. Already the mask is coming off. It was cool to start with, whatever, it's too warm. Right, okay. Right, Scottish. I hate accents so much. Aye, so, right. Hello. I fell. Great start. Fell deep cavity here in a famous dentist, and no, he wasn't a doctor. No, he wasn't. No, he was just a dentist. And I'm here to tell you about a story about a certain dentist, a dental practice called the Filling Station. Oh God, this accent. This is the case of the deadly dental devil, Ian Sizer. Ian Sizer was a dentist who owned this dental practice with his wife and assistant, Ginger Vitus. They all owned this place, and they had a receptionist as well called Dee, apparently. And there was the rumour that, there was certain things wrong with such a place. There was a rumour that somebody was selling teeth on the black market, which Ian denied, of course. There was a rumour as well that Ian was having an affair, which was also denied. But this story is about Dental Dam. I think it was Dental Dam, but it might have been Dental Dam. I don't know. I'm just going to go for Dental Dam. Dental Dam. Now, Dental Dam was very scared of the dentist, as some people are. And when he went in to, get his fillings or tooth pulled out, he'd have to have the full works. You're talking arms, hands bound, the head brace, nitrous oxide, to knock him out. Knock him out. Oh, God. Focus on the information. Knock him out. And one day he was in with Ian, getting the works, and there was a loud noise and crash and shout. And when Ginger and the receptionist rushed into the room, Ian was found dead on the floor, his gullet stuffed with teeth. That's obviously the way he died. Foul play was instantly suspected. Because, obviously Dental Dam was in the room, but he said because he had his hands and head and, may or may not have been knocked out. We don't know. It was unclear. It's one of the two. It's probably important. But so he may or may not have been injected with the nitrous oxide. But he said because of those things, it definitely couldn't have been him. And that's it. I think that's all the info. Hey. I think yeah. I'm gonna shut up. There was a bit about always some joke about a smile as well. You may not believe me, but all of that, everything I've said, was the tooth, the whole tooth, and nothing but the tooth. So there you go. Right.
Hello there! How are you doing today? I'm just here for a checkup, I would imagine. So, my name is Phil Macavity, and I'm here at the filling station to tell you a very, very interesting story. Now, as you can see, I am a dentist. This is my dental outfit, and here is my patient list. There's nothing on here because they're all in my head. Yes, I'd like to tell you a story about one of my colleagues got himself into a very serious incident. Yes, yeah. So, his name was Ian Sizer. Yes, very, very competent dentist there. And he had a assistant called Ginger Vitus. He worked at a place called the filling station. And there was a chap that came to the dentist one day called Dental Dan. Now, Dental Dan was frightened of the dentist. Now, a lot of people are frightened of the dentist. I can understand that, especially when I have to fish their teeth out with this, or poke up their larynx with this little, thing to have a look at the back of the throat there, you know. But yes, so he was very, very frightened of all of the dental practitioners. So we had to put him in a chair. Well, I didn't have to, but Ian did. This is what he told me inside. He said you had to put him in a chair, you had to strap him down, you had to put a mask in his face and put a nitrous oxide in his mouth. And then knock him out completely, or he would just go mental. So, what happened on this very strange day was that Dental Dan came along for a filling, and Ian was in the room. I imagine his assistant was in the room, although that was not clarified to me after the incident. And all of a sudden, Ian was found dead with some teeth stuffed in his gullet. And it was clear to me that Dental Dan didn't do it. And we're not 100% sure why, but that was what was told to me. Previous to this, I forgot to give you a little bit of information here, because, Phil Macavity here is got a bit of a cavity in the old brain. There was situations going around the area of dentistry of teeth being stolen by people and sold, I think, on the black market. Could be quite difficult that to sell teeth in the black market, especially the black ones. Anyway, so so Ian was murdered. Dental Dan was out, but we're not sure if he was fully unconscious or not. Gingivitis was in the room, we're going to say that. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm going to say that it would be a bit bizarre if she wasn't there. Also, Ian had a wife, which wasn't mentioned on the patient report. And so that was the case. Dental Dan did not do it. We don't know who did, but that is up to you to solve. So, the pun at the end. Well, I guess that is the whole tooth, and nothing but the tooth. The tooth, the whole tooth, and nothing but the tooth. So help me God. Well, see you later for another checkup. Bye-bye.